Okay. Hello. I'm streaming on Instagram Live and on YouTube Live right now. On YouTube Live for my patrons, I am channeling the June 2021 Oracle messages, not 2020. I wish that I could change the title right now, but I can't. So, well, fuck. It's the first day of Mercury retrograde, so it's not 2020, it's 2021 Oracle messages. Yeah, like I said, hey, friend. Like I said, I am streaming on IG Live right now and on YouTube Live right now. On YouTube Live, you get 1080p, the full June 2021 Oracle messages, not just the general messages. On IG Live, we cut off after the general messages and you don't get all the good detailed stuff. So if you are interested in getting the full Oracle messages as well as other things like a 20% discount on readings with me and monthly spiritual and psychic development exercises, you can join me on my Patreon. And the URL is patreon.com/brownbruja, or you can go to my website and it's linked on there as monthly oracle. Okay, so how's everybody doing? I hope you're okay. Yeah, I feel like this week has been really shitty. I shouldn't have done this, but I just want to say, like, for people who are, on Witch Talk or whatever spiritual Instagram, don't fucking just, like, make sure that your energy guards are up when you're scrolling through Instagram, because yeah, I fucked up. It's supposed to be June 2021 and I like did it multiple times and now I can't fucking change it. So I guess we're back in time. June 2020 was also pretty brutal. But anyway, when you're scrolling through social media, Instagram, shit like that, make sure that you have your energy protection up, that you're protecting your energy, because I didn't earlier today. My partner sent me a video on Discovery Plus, and like, if you watch it, you need to just make sure that you're, like I said. So my partner sent me a video on Discovery Plus where these people went to a demon house and they caught the demon on film, and the demon started making everybody sick. And right after I watched that video, I started feeling super nauseous and like anxious. And then I watched like while I was watching, and then while I was watching the rest of the video, they were talking about how everybody in that demon house got really sick, like super sick. Like one of the guys got hospitalized, and it started making me feel sick too. And I had to see a client right after, so I was like, fuck, I can't be sick, I got work to do. So just be careful when you're scrolling through social media or searching the internet or anything like that. We are all connected, I guess, like digitally, but also energetically through the internet. So yeah, I'm still feeling a little bit nauseous, and that's like totally my fault. But I have candle going here. You can't see it on the Instagram live, but my friend made me this candle and it smells really good. And I also have my guava leaves here and my gigantic lighter. So yeah, I think I'll be okay. But just FYI, everybody, be careful. Be careful. Okay, so I know that this week was kind of heavy for a lot of people, so I'm going to ask them to give us some. Oh my god. I almost just burned my finger. Give us some specific guidance, keeping in mind, like, that we're in eclipse season right now, and that we're also in, our second Mercury retrograde of the year. I'm not an astrologer, but you don't need to be an astrologer to know that the planets affect us as, as earthlings. So, let me just get grounded here. Let's see. All right. What are the general messages that everybody that's going to be watching this video needs to know for June 2021? Not June 2020, June 2021. What do the people that are going to be watching this video need to know in general? Okay. Hey, Alicia. Yes, Nori. Did you guys hear that? My big girl, she talks in her sleep. It's funny. Okay. So remember, so for May, if you didn't watch May, we were talking about in the general message how we were talking in the general message in May about how a lot of us were going to have to start engaging in shadow work, right? And having to deal with just like things that we just like, shoved into the backs of our closets that we didn't really want to like think about, old traumas, childhood traumas, like inner child shit, right? And so there's what I'm seeing right now is that there's kind of like two divergent or two possibilities for people in June, right? If you have decided to actually engage in whatever this kind of inner work might be, you're gonna if you're gonna engage in whatever kind of this work might be, like I feel like you are 8 of Cups vibes, okay? Got 8 of Cups here. 8 of Cups. And these are people who are a lot of people are gonna have to come to terms with the fact that they're gonna have to let go of something that it feels like it has been like a huge part of your identity for a really long time, but you know that that's not healthy for you. For example, like with me, and I'll just use this isn't, maybe it is something that I am working through or whatever, but like, with my mental health and just like identifying, I guess, with like being like super stressed all the time, super anxious, like trying to be like on top of everything, working super hard and stuff. Like, and this is something that my friend Devika talks about a lot in her her professional capacity, about how much of your quirky personality traits are actually your personality traits, and how many of them are just like coping mechanisms or like ways that you've adapted to act or to navigate throughout the world in order to survive. So like for me right now, I'm working a lot on like letting go of like being stressed the fuck out all the time. Like I don't want to be a workaholic. I don't want to work all the time. I don't want to keep worrying about work. I don't want to be worried all the time, period. But I am, and it's like it hurts my body literally. Like if you follow me on my personal Instagram, which I only let people who I actually know follow me on my personal Instagram, but like I'm on this like neck healing journey. So this necklace that I'm wearing, when I first got it, when my boyfriend first gave it to me, it was like this. It looked like this on my neck, okay? Because my neck was thick. She was really thick. And I've been working on like reducing stress, taking care of myself more, and now, she's long. Hey, Nania. So yeah, and the more that I've, I guess, like invested in like really critiquing whether or not being stressed out all the time, being worried, being like super like, I don't know, on top of my shit in work, like really critiquing like how much of that is actually a part of me, and like how much of it like I had to do because like I was scared of fucking up when I was younger, because I didn't want to get in trouble, because I didn't want to get yelled at, because I was like scared of my parents, you know. I can talk about this openly because, you know, both my parents have passed, and I'm like, you know, this is part of my, you know, inner child shadow work stuff, right? It's like issues with or fear of authority. So yeah, like I don't really think that that is a part of me, like an essential part of me. Of course, it is like a way that I've started to operate because, like, you know, like I said, that's what I need to do to survive, and it has been like a trait that I've possessed for such a long time because it developed in my childhood. But I don't necessarily think that that's like something that's always going to be a part of me, like being Filipino or like, you know, having, I don't know, eyebrows. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not like stuck to me forever. It's not like, you know, yeah. So anyway, I think that a lot of us who are like trying to better ourselves and take that bitter medicine, we're like, really, it's like it feels like we're getting to the pinnacle of that in June, which is perfect, right? Because it's like super hot outside. I love sweating, being physically, mentally, and emotionally uncomfortable all at the same time. It's the best. It's the best time of the year, right? Summer eclipse season. Okay. Anyway, so that's one possibility that I'm seeing. The second the second group of people, or the second possibility for you, because you have a choice, right? And you don't have to, you may not necessarily like stay in one camp. You know, you could be switching back and forth. You could be switching back and forth depending on like whatever issue that you're like trying to work on to better yourself in, right? You know, we all have probably like more than one thing wrong with us. So the second group I see is here represented with a Four of Cups. Four of Cups. All right. And with the Four of Cups, it's like, I mean, look at him. Well, I'll show it to my YouTube first. You know, somebody is trying to present something and you're like, I don't want that. No, thank you. That's not for me. That's not for me. But, you know, and like I say, like, it's your choice. It's your choice if you want to do this work. It's your choice if you want to, like, try and improve yourself, try to become a better person, and, like, you know, be uncomfortable. Because you have to be uncomfortable to change, you know. Yeah, nobody's gonna force you. But if, you know, I think what they're saying is, like, try and see, now my brain's like starting to fade away because this is what happens to me because I was born during Mercury retrograde. But anyway, they're asking you to like ask yourself why am I so avoidant to this work? Why am I so I can't think of the word. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. You have to ask yourself that. And honestly, I think that would be like a lot easier than actually like doing the thing, because you're just like thinking about doing the thing. So why not do that, you know? And then maybe you can get on this like even more difficult Eight of Cups road if that's an incentive for you. God, yeah, I know. Like, you know what, usually when I do these oracle messages, and it's only been when I started last month, that I've had 2 negative general messages in a row. You know, like, and it's, I mean, I don't want to say it's negative, but it's not like something that everybody wants to hear. And I think it's because, like, there's something happening right now in the world. I mean, as you can tell, you know, like, just like something going on in the collective, like I don't know, the energy of the world, I feel like, where people are just like, it's different from June 2020, which this video is not about. It's different from June 2020. Because, you know, in June 2020, you know, when the uprisings happened, it was like around this time, you know, late May. And I remember because in LA, it was Memorial Day weekend when we first like started to like open up businesses again. And that was the weekend that we had the big rally in, I forget what park that's called, but it has Pan Pacific Park, I think. But anyways, Yeah, so it's like all around the same time. But now a year later, it's I feel like we're all having to, instead of like focus externally on like what's going on societally, now it's like, okay, now that everything is actually, continuing to get better, at least here, in Los Angeles, like it's like, okay, well, now I have to like clean house inside of me because, you know, being in quarantine at like we are now still, like we have kind of an excuse, right? Or at least me, because I live by myself. Like I don't have to like make sure that I'm like a good person when I'm interacting with other people, because it doesn't really happen that often, Or I guess like the number of opportunities that I have to like come into conflict with somebody else is less, because I'm not really seeing anybody. I'm not really hanging out with anybody. Like the only person that I talk to, I don't every day, is my boyfriend, And so I think it's been easy for us to ignore the kind of like difficult mental and emotional like issues that we have. But because we're now getting ready to like go back into the world, like emerge into a world where we're going to have to start interacting with other people who we know for sure have experienced trauma from the past year, unless you fucking, I don't know, live in a tree in the mountains and you just like don't know what has been happening. Yeah, we're fucked up and we're going to be interacting with other fucked up people. So it's like it's kind of like we have to, oh, thank you baby sleigh dog, I appreciate you. Yeah, we're going to have to just get our shit together. And I don't think that it's not like it's not like, okay, May and June I fucking, you know, I thought about these things. I journaled. I did breath work. I released it. I talked to my therapist, and I'm all good. No, this is like it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, and I feel like this, whatever it is that you're going through now, because we are in eclipse season, it's gonna come up again. Next eclipse season, the next eclipse in whatever sign, or like the next, you know what I'm saying? So pay attention. Pay attention to what you're experiencing right now, because it's for sure not the first time that you're having to confront this in your own life, and it's also not going to be the last time that you will. So yeah, I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but I don't really have a choice in what I get to say. I mean, I guess I could just not say it, but if I'm gonna say something, I'm just gonna tell you what they're telling me. Yeah, man, that really. I don't want to say it sucks, because it's gonna be good, because once we get out on the other side of it, once we like get into the process of it, we're gonna feel a lot better. We're gonna be healed. We're not gonna have to like feel like we have to be, whatever that might be. So for me, like hopefully I don't feel like I have to like be fucking stressed out all the time to be a good person, or like working all the time to be a good person. Yeah, it's, I don't know, having like, just like on a personal note, I guess, like having to work two jobs, and one of them being like my own business, and now that I'm like trying to develop this course for people, it's like it's really made me think about fucking like my relationship to work, and like my relation, and how I like derive my own like my value from my work, and like what I like, how much I produce, which I don't, I don't want that to be the defining like factor of my worth. Some people, they might, and that's fine, but not me. Like I like resting, and I like being lazy, and I like doing fun things. But like, I don't know, I'm just like, I have this guilt. Going back to, what I was talking about earlier about like fear of authority. So yeah. Anyway, okay, let's see what other messages, if we have any positive messages, or not as difficult messages, I guess, to digest. What other things do we need to know about June 2021. 2021, again, people, I know I misnamed the video, but I'm gonna blame Mercury and also, yeah, anyway, okay. What other general messages do you have for everybody that's gonna be watching this video? Whoa, okay, actually, let me do one more time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know, it's really interesting because, wow, okay, hold on. Whoa, okay. This is really interesting. Okay, so the last two cards that we saw, right, that I focused on, because I picked two other ones, but I didn't really feel like I needed to talk about those. But we have the Four of Cups and the Eight of Cups, right? And now, I just pulled 5 cards, and 4 out of the 5 were cups, okay? So we have the Queen of Cups, Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, and 10 of Cups. Yeah, the 10 of Cups. And then we also have the Hanged Man, which is associated with Uranus, I think. Uranus or Neptune? I always get confused. I think it's Uranus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Uranus. But anyways, okay. So, yeah. Let me just think about this before I start talking and saying the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay, so in the tarot, one of the traditional associations of the cups is emotions. Emotions, and there's also like healing. Healing is another aspect of it, also the element of water. But like right now, what they're emphasizing is this focus on emotions, like being really kind to yourself, being really gentle with yourself when it comes to your emotions, because sorry, but we're all going on a roller coaster ride of emotions this month. And I think it has to do with everything that I was just talking about. You know, I'm not an astrologer, but like I said, you know, the planets definitely have an energetic impact on us. And I think what it is what they're cautioning you against, because the order that these cards came out in was we had the Queen, then the Knight, and then the Page, and then the 10. And this is like the chronological order, but backwards, right? So what I feel like they're communicating is that we need to make sure that we're not emotionally like regressing, if that makes sense. Or like, you know, you're an adult. Oh, you know, hopefully you're an adult if you're watching this. If you're not an adult, don't listen to me. This is not for children. But you know, as adults, as we all are adults, like make sure that you're not retreating back to your like childlike emotional defenses, and because there's going to be situations that present themselves where you're going to feel attacked, you're going to feel uncomfortable because, you know, all the stuff that I was talking about. And it's really easy to just like revert back to super immature, unevolved ways of thinking. And it's not just in your interactions with other people. It's like the way that you think about yourself. Yeah, it's like what I'm feeling is that a lot of people are gonna be kind of just like going back to like the old patterns of thinking about yourself. Like, I don't do this and I don't look like this, so I'm ugly and I'm not worth it. Or like, I don't deserve to be here. Just like, and you know, so you may feel yourself starting to feel that just like out of nowhere, you know? You just like get into your head and you start, I don't know, like just thinking about where you are in life, and maybe you feel unsatisfied, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm just a piece of shit. And all the therapy and whatever journaling and kind of like mental and emotional healing that you may have done in like the past like 3 years or so, maybe you just feels like it all just falls apart, just falls away, you know? And that's okay. If that happens, that's okay. But just know that like how you are right now is like it's a product of like what we're experiencing right now energetically. Like everybody's going through the same thing, so don't feel bad about it. And like, yeah, if you need to do that, just be aware of it. Like, do whatever you gotta do. Feel however you need to feel about yourself without judging it, because like honestly, I don't really feel like you you won't really, I don't think you'll really, most people will not really be able to control that feeling anyways. So, you know. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if there's any other messages that we need to hear for the general messages. Actually, I'm going to switch. It's all about, I guess, like mental and emotional health this month. Well, at least, you know, from me, I guess. In 2021. Oh my gosh. Okay. I said oh my gosh because I switched decks and then I got another cups. So we got the 5 of cups here. And, you know, just take a look at the imagery in this card. I feel like this is kind of like a visual embodiment or visual representation of everything that I've been talking about, right? It's just like, I don't know, just like feeling like shit. Crying in the bathtub, you know, like what does that bring to mind for you? It's just like feeling like you're losing control. You're losing control of your emotions. Oh, sorry, Melissa. Yeah, but it's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with crying in the bathroom. Okay, as long as you like get out eventually and like dry your body off and get back to life, right? And then we also have the Prince of Swords and the Tower. The Prince of Swords and the Tower. And this is really interesting. It interests me that these two cards came up together because for me, it feels like the Prince is like heading towards the Tower. He's like trying to, I don't know, do something in there. And so let me see. Okay, I know that I just like did a meme about Lord of the Rings, but this reminds me of like Frodo and Sam going to Mordor, okay? And I think, you know, that's what a lot of us might feel like this month because like I said, like what we're being asked to do, what they're suggesting to us to do this month is to just like, you know, confront those parts of ourselves that we don't really want to address, and that can be the Tower, you know, or Mordor. It's like I don't want to go there because I know what the fuck's gonna happen when I go there, you know. And you might feel like the Prince of Swords. You might feel like you're not a king or a queen, or you know, you might not feel like you're experienced enough or strong enough or mature enough to be able to do whatever it is that you need to get done. But guess what? What happens at the end of Lord of the Rings? They fucking survived and they get to go to the elf land, okay? Not saying you're gonna go to the elf land. Not saying nothing like that's gonna happen to you yet. But like these are just like challenges that we're being presented with the opportunity to engage with, to conquer. And I feel like as long as you like keep going and keep trying, like you can't really go wrong. Even though it feels shitty, like I feel like just like trying and like continuing to try and like better yourself, to become a better person, that's a win in itself. There's that cheesy, corny, whatever line that I was asking for, I guess. After all the, I don't know, not so fun things to hear. Man, I don't want to be that that person that just like channels, you know, difficult, hard to hear messages. I want to tell people cool stuff, like someone has a crush on them or something. Alicia said, I lived in a dorm called Rivendell once. Oh, so you've already been to Rivendell. So I don't know what happens after that. I don't know if there's any books after that. So anyway, okay, so that's it for the general messages this month. If you are watching me on IG Live and you want to get into more specific messages around career, relationships, and life, spiritual development, please subscribe to my Patreon where you can get access to that. And like I said, if you subscribe to the Oracle 2 level, Oracle 2 tier, you also get 20% off of individual readings with me, as well as access to different spiritual psychic development exercises that I post throughout the month. So yeah, goodbye IG Live. I will see you later. Okay, 1 second. YouTube, 1 second. I'm gonna take a break for a second. Actually, how do I do this? Okay, I will be right back. Okay, it's just us. 1 second. Let me move this iPad out of the way. Man, it's hot in here. I'm sweating. Okay, let me take a drink of water. I always turn off the mic whenever I'm drinking something because I don't know, I don't like when people hear my drinking noises. I don't know why. Okay. So as always, let's get into our specific messages in career, life purpose, relationships, and spiritual development. All right. So right now, pick a number between 1 through 3 for each of those groups. First, we're gonna go into interpersonal relationships. Okay, so the first number that you're gonna pick is for interpersonal relationships. The second number you're gonna pick is gonna be about career and life purpose stuff, and the last number you're gonna pick is gonna be for spiritual development. So for each group, pick a number between 1 and 3. Okay? You can pause if you want to. Well, I guess you can't pause. Well, you can pause if you're watching live too. Okay. Okay, what do we need to know in relationships for June 2021? Please give me 3 groups. 3 messages in relationships for all the people that are going to be watching this. And you can pick more than one number if you want to. Oops. I don't like that. Let me do it again. Okay. All right. So for group 1, we have the Fool. The Fool. Oh, the Fool. Okay. So, what do we need to know about group 1 and relationships? Relationships. Give us more insight into this. June 2021. Okay. So we have the Fool and the Prince of Wands here. Okay. I feel like these people are going to be having a hot girl summer, whatever that means. It's literally like I'm looking at these pictures and I'm just like like I don't know what you're going to be doing. I hope you're vaccinating. Vaccinating. I don't know what that means. But yeah, I don't know. You know, if you're not single and ready to mingle, if you're in a relationship, I feel like, I don't know, things are just gonna be stepping up to the next level with you and your partner or your partners. And this is romantic, obviously. Yeah, that's what I feel. Or alternatively, okay, so that's for the people that are in relationships. People who aren't in relationships and you're looking for a relationship, I feel like it's like, it could be a time where you're like starting to meet new people, or you're like really feeling yourself, so you're like feeling ready to put yourself out there, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're just like walking around, you see just like there's like hot guys everywhere and girls and people, you know, like it's just like, I don't know, something's going on in your body where you're just like, you're on fire. Okay. That's gross. Just kidding, it's not gross. Okay. Anyways, becoming mature again. Yeah, okay, so but if we're talking about platonic relationships, I feel like the people in this group have kind of just like shed a toxic relationship. Or maybe it could be romantic too, but whatever it is, it's like, you know, you've put that aside, you put that in the past, and now it's like there's nothing burdening you anymore, and you're just like ready to go and put yourself out there, make new friends, or, you know, meet somebody romantically or whatever. In either case, that it's really good, and I feel like you should just like have fun. You know, don't be too serious. That's what the Fool is telling you here. It's reminding you like, regardless of like what your long-term plans might be, you'll have the best time if you just like don't take things too seriously and just like have fun. Okay, so that is group 1. Now let's move on to group 2. Group 2, we have the 6 of Pentacles. All right, 6 of Pentacles. What does group 2 need to know about relationships in June 2021? Ah, no. Oops. Okay, you got the 9 of Swords. That's why I said, oh no. But it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of like a punk rock hairstyle. But it's not a hairstyle because she has swords in her head. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Okay, these people, what you're going to be working on, and I'm not going to say if it's romantic or platonic or whatever, but the big thing for you this month is when it comes to relationships is going to be working on how your boundaries. It's specifically how much you give to other people, because these people you feel like you're not giving enough, but you're giving a lot of yourself. It's like, you know, that thing that people say online, it's like living in your hand rent free or whatever. Like, I feel like you just like, you give your energy by like overthinking things, you know, situations that happen with like people in your life that you care about, and it just like really takes a toll on you. Or it's like you're absorbing other people's problems without any boundaries, and it's just like, but at the same time, it's like because the people aren't feeling better or getting better, you think that there's something wrong that you've done, or that you haven't done enough, you could do more to give to these people. But in reality, what I'm seeing is like you're not really, the kind of energy that you're giving to these people or to these relationships and situations is not what's gonna make them feel better, and it's also not what's gonna make you feel better. It's the wrong kind of energy, but it's not it's not anything wrong that you're doing. You're not at fault here. I think it's just that maybe you just need to reevaluate like the dynamic in these relationships or these situations, because there's a way that even though people are going through things, it doesn't mean that like the relationships with everyone around them like just like has to like that the people that they're in relationships with have to like, get brought down too. That doesn't have to happen every time. Maybe you have a different perception of that. Maybe your perspective of that is different. It's like, if I'm okay but my friend is suffering, I'm not a good friend. And I feel you, and I've been there, definitely, like, even, like, when my mom was sick and when my dad was sick, like, I would always feel bad for, like, having fun, because I felt like I wasn't thinking about them enough, even though I'm not a doctor, and there's nothing that I could do to make them feel better, that's kind of, like, a more extreme, version of it, but we encounter, a lot of times we find ourselves in this mindset when it's just, like, a friend, like, going through a breakup, or, like, having a hard time at work. It's like, how can I celebrate? How can I feel good when somebody that I care about is in pain? And you putting yourself through more pain, or like putting your energy towards them in a way that's not really helping them, just to like martyr yourself, isn't gonna make the situation better. So stop doing that. Don't feel bad, okay? And if you're not able to give your energy to somebody in a way that like makes them feel good and also makes you feel good, then you don't feel bad about feeling like you need to stop that. Okay. And lastly, group 3, we have the 4 of Swords. Okay. So let's see. Group 3 in relationships. What do they need to hear? June 2021. Okay, so you got the 4 of Swords, and then now you also have the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords. Oh my. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Okay. Actually, you know what? I feel like this group is kind of on the other side of the issue that the second group is going through. Because what I feel is that, like, you've been hurt, you've been burned, you've gone through some kind of, like, heartbreak or disappointment or something bad in a relationship. And that's what, obviously is represented by the 3 of Swords, bleeding heart. It's like you were vulnerable, you made yourself vulnerable, you tried to, like, put yourself out there and you got burned. But now it's like you're resting. So, obviously, numerology, no, that's not the word that I'm trying to say, and that's not even a word. Like, 3 comes before 4, is what I'm trying to say. 4 comes after 3, right? So after this, it's like you're doing what you need to do, you're on the right path, and you're giving yourself some rest. You're allowing yourself to just, like, take a break from, whatever kind of situation that was. And it's like, I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to, like, give myself time to heal. And that's great. Honestly, I think that more people need to be resting instead of trying to just, like, go back to that person, go back to that situation, trying to, like, make things right. Sometimes you just gotta, like, let go, respect other people's boundaries, and just, like, do your own thing too, and respect your own boundaries too. So yeah, you're on the right track with your healing. So good job. Good job. I don't have that much to say on this one because you're already doing what you need to be doing. Okay. All right, let's move on to career and life purpose stuff. And again, pick number 1 through 3, or you can pick more than one number if you want. Okay, career and life purpose, June 2021. What do we need to know? hold on. Okay. So we have the Fool for group 1 in career and life purpose. We're the Fool again. All right. So group 1, what do you need to know in career and life purpose? June 2021. Aha! We have the Tower. The Fool and the Tower. Okay. I kind of like this combination, but let me just tune in and see. Okay, these people, I'm really happy for you because just like, group 3 in relationships, you're walking away from a toxic situation. Like, you read the signs, I don't know, insert metaphor for reading signs because I can't think of any. But you knew that shit was going to go down. You knew that the fucking ship was going down and you jumped ship and, like, you're good. Like, you survived. You did what you needed to do to take care of yourself. And so Spirit wants you to celebrate that. Yeah, you made it. You made it out alive. You knew that things were going to go bad and now you're looking back and you're like, oh shit, like, those people aren't doing very good. So maybe you recently quit a job, or maybe you just, left for whatever reason. You left a certain field. You, I don't know, stopped work. I don't know what it feels like to me. Or yeah, maybe you just like changed directions in your career and now that business or field is just like not doing very well. So pat yourself on the back. You followed your intuition or whatever signs that your guides, your angels were giving you. And yeah, leave it in the past because this is a new start for you. And now you know for sure that you can trust your intuition because you read the situation correctly. And that's another thing that you should be really proud of for yourself. Don't look back. Don't look back at all. Like, don't ever go back to this place. The Tower is not always bad. But in this situation, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like even if you wanted to go back, there would be nothing for you to go back to. So, yeah, congratulations. But sorry to those people. Okay, group 2 in career and life purpose. You have the 2 of Wands. Yay! Or maybe it's not yay. We'll find out. Okay. 2 of Wands. Group 2, career and life purpose. What do we need to know? I want that one. June 2021. I don't know. That's not right. Sorry, I'm having a hard time focusing today. Okay. Group 2, June 2021. Career and life purpose. What do people need to know? Group 2, June 2021. Career and life purpose. Okay. This is better. Oops, sorry. Okay. So you got the Queen of Swords. We have the 2 of Wands and the Queen of Swords. There you go. All right, let's see what's going on here. I love this. I really love this. Yeah. So, okay, these people, I feel like the people in this group, you're like dreaming big. Whatever it is that you're envisioning for yourself in your career and life purpose, it's something, I think you've just recently come to the realization that you're meant to do something bigger than what you're doing right now. Either that or you're finally able to, you can like actually see your dream is a possibility. That big dream that you have for yourself, you're like, oh shit, like I can actually do it. And it's like getting you really excited. And maybe you're like planning, you're doing, vision boarding, you're Googling and seeing like what the actual steps that you need to take are to be able to like get to that big dream. Trying to like find people that have done the same thing that you want to do. like that are where you want to be in 2 years or 5 years or 6 months or whatever. That's what I see for you. And I just feel like a renewed confidence. Yeah. Even though, looking at the Two of Wands, I'm looking at the guy's face and he's not really sure. He's not really sure where he's going. Also, like, I don't really like looking at this card sometimes because it makes me think about Christopher Columbus, but fuck that guy. He is not in group 2, okay? He is somewhere else. But looking at the guy's face, like, to me, I think it feels like he's not really sure where he's going. It's like, I'm not really sure what I'm not really sure, like, where I'm going to end up. But I do know that, like, in, like, this is where the general direction that I want to go. And this is the idea that I have. And I know that I can do that. Even though, like, the final form, the, like, actual, how it's actually going to materialize might not be super clear to me. I'm still excited. I'm still going to, like, plan for it and, like, try and make it happen for myself. So, yeah, that's super exciting. I really love that. And the Queen of Swords is, like, especially for you right now in this message, is a perfect balance of intuition and reasoning, of logic and feeling. Or, I don't know if I mix those up. But you know what I'm saying. It's like, yeah. So, do your research, do what you got to do, but also follow, like, what feels good to you. And if it doesn't feel good, if it's not, as one of my colleagues says, a full body yes. Hold on, let me plug in my laptop because it's about to die. Oops. Sorry about that. If it's not a full body yes, then, just don't do that. It might not be the right time for that. So, yeah, pay attention to your feelings. But yeah, that's really exciting, and I'm very happy for you. Okay, last group 3 in career and life purpose. You have Justice. All right, for 3. Career and life purpose, June 2021. We don't need to know. Whoa. Okay. We have the Ace of Swords. Justice and the Ace of Swords. Got a lot of sword imagery here. See, Justice also has a sword. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to pick another card, actually. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so you have the Hanged Man. Okay. Career and life purpose. What's going on here? So I feel like these people, like, this month, I feel like you're going to have come up with some idea. Something, start a new project, come up with an idea. Maybe you're starting a new job, but it's going to feel really unexpected. And maybe, like, a little weird, like unconventional or just, like, super random. And what they're saying is that, like, if it just feels like super random, came out of nowhere, that's not an indication that this is not a good idea, okay? Just like with group 2. I mean, everybody needs to do this, but because I was talking about it with group 2, you need to also remember to follow your intuition. Follow your feeling about the idea, okay? Oh, let me see. I feel like there's something else that wants to come through. Okay, so when it comes to this, when it comes to this group and the idea or whatever thing that you're going to be starting, you might feel, and this is where it gets tricky, because it's like, is this my intuition or is this my ego, right? You might feel with the Justice card that you can't trust your judgment for some reason. Like, even though, like, you come up with an idea, something pops into your head, you're like, wow, this is a really great idea. I really want to get this started. I need to call this person, get all these things and, like, get things going. But then, like, later on you start, like, talking to other people about your idea. and then they're like, that's weird, or like, are you sure in this economy, whatever that means. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be there's a possibility that like a lot of people, or I don't know, like preconceived notions that you have may influence your thinking and make you feel like, well, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe I'm not on the right track. Maybe this isn't something that I need to be doing right now. But with the Justice card, what Spirit is reminding you is that you are a good decision maker, I guess is the word that I'm thinking. It's like you can trust yourself to make the right decisions for yourself. If you're starting to feel fear, if you're starting to feel, I don't know, any kind of like anxiety, things like that, that is likely your ego rather than your intuition. Your intuition is not going to make you have a panic attack. No, that is your ego. So if that starts to happen, do what you need to do to like calm yourself down, to get to a state where you're not in emotional and mental stress, and evaluate in that state of mind whether or not this idea or project or thing that you want to be doing is a good idea. And it's only when you're in that state of mind, when you're neutral, that you'll be able to hear your intuition, hear your guides, and like really make a more clear decision, or come to a clearer confusion. What am I saying? When you're in a neutral state of mind, you'll have a easier time coming to a conclusion about, like, you know, this situation, whatever the situation might be. Sorry, I don't know why it's taking me so long to say these things. I'm gonna blame Mercury. I'm gonna blame Mercury for, like, I don't know, the next 7 months of the year. Okay. All right, let's get on to spiritual development. I'm fading away. Okay. Spiritual development. Again, pick a number between 1 through 3. You can pick 3 numbers or 2 numbers if you want to. Okay. Spiritual development, June 2021. What does everybody watching this need to know? All right. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna pull all 3. Okay. Okay. All right. So for group 1, we have the 8 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. How lovely. How lovely. Okay. I feel like in spiritual development, what's going to kind of be drawing you in group 1 is like kind of like thinking back to witchy things or like esoteric things that you used to do as a child with your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your neighbors, when you'd like, I don't know, make potions in the backyard, or like pretend to like cast a spell, or maybe you did like divination with like fortune telling and things like that. I feel like your spiritual development practice this month is going to be very influenced by nostalgia, and like it's going to help you unlock new things, different gifts, different modalities for yourself. Maybe that is something to do with the retrograde, Mercury retrograde, where it talks a lot, or a lot of times it involves things like going into the past, things from the past coming back, right? But I think that'll be really fun for you. Spirituality doesn't have to be super serious, as you can tell. I mean, like, hello, I'm like the least serious person about this stuff on YouTube, except when it comes to like, energetic boundaries and things like that, right? If you like want to try to talk to demons or whatever, like don't. That's when I get serious. But when it comes to you exploring your gifts, as long as you're protecting yourself and you're being intentional about what you're doing, I think you can have a lot of fun. Yeah. Doing spells, like very simple spells with like salt water and sand, or working with the moon, planting things, like it just feels very like stuff that we would do as kids, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, have fun with it and see where it goes, see where it takes you. If you are inclined to, I think it would be a really good idea for you to take notes in a journal about like what you do, what the results are, how it makes you feel, and then like what subsequently happens for you, you know, in your spiritual development, whether or not it is actually like directly related to that thing that you might be trying to do. And I'm also seeing puzzles, like jigsaw puzzles. Yeah, maybe you want to do a jigsaw puzzle. I don't know. Okay, that is group 1. Group 1 in spiritual development. Moving on to group 2, we have Judgment. Judgment and the 10 of Wands. Okay. All right, let's see. Ooh, okay. So I feel like the people in this group might be experiencing a spiritual reactivation this month. I mean, I'm excited, but also like, oh, it's intense. Okay, so what do I mean by spiritual reactivation? Okay, it means that like some more of your gifts are being unlocked, or you may be on the verge of like coming to a spiritual I'm getting confused. I don't usually get confused on words. Revelation. It's revelation, right? Yeah, I think it's revelation. Yeah, so you may be coming to some kind of spiritual revelation, and there's a lot of like not so fun parts that come with a spiritual reactivation. But I don't really want you to dwell on that, because there's so much other crap going on right now that could be related, or it could just be fucking, you know, part of the mess of the world, and, you know, outer and inner world. So aside from all that, we already know about that kind of stuff, because I already talked about it a lot in this month and last month's general messages. But this is really exciting. Spiritual reactivations is like for a lot of people, it's a time where, like, if you're working on certain skills, like let's say you're just like really trying to like build up your tarot practice, all of a sudden you feel it's a lot easier to read the tarot. You don't need to look up the meanings anymore. You don't need to look at the book anymore. Or let's say you're working on connecting with a certain ancestor, and all of a sudden you feel like super connected to them. Or you might even discover that you have a new gift. Like all of a sudden you can talk to your cat, which that happened to me recently. Well, I kind of knew, but now I know for sure. Me. Anyway, I really love this for you, you know, and it's just like, to me, spiritual reactivations, as if I even know what it's like to die. But what I've heard from just like different people, and like what I've discovered in my research, is that like whenever people choose to be reincarnated, to come back to Earth and like do this shitty life thing again, it's like it's all worth it. Like all the fucking shitty parts of it, it's all worth it because of the outcome and the experience, the overall experience. And I think that the same is true with spiritual reactivations. It's like, yeah, you go through really shitty stuff, but once you get out on the other side of it, it's like there's so much good you can do. There's so much clarity that you can achieve for yourself, and like, I don't know, just like spiritual reactivations are really special times in life. So if you find yourself going through one, or about to go through one, or you just went through one, that's a gift. That's a huge gift. Okay. Lastly, we have the Seven of Cups, and the Hierophant. And I said, oh, because of the Hierophant. That is our year. 2021 is a Hierophant year. It's interesting, too. What caught my eye right away is that there's like 3 figures in black here. Just something interesting that I thought I would point out. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, I know what this is. Interesting, because what also kind of drew my eye is like this guy in the cup kind of reminds me of that the priest here, the Hierophant here. I don't know why. But what they're kind of telling me is that if you're in this group, they want you to like pay less attention to dogma and like the right way of doing things, and pay more attention to yourself and what's resonating with you personally when it comes to your spiritual development, your psychic development, whatever it might be. There are a lot of organized religions and organized like spiritual practices, and that is, they've survived for a reason. There's truth in every religion. There's a little bit of truth in every religion and every spiritual practice, but that truth might not be your truth, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you probably already know that, but I feel like that that people kind of forget about that when it comes to even just like standalone esoteric practices. I'm going to talk about the tarot again just because it's like right in front of my face, Excuse me. A lot of people get caught up with memorizing the specific images and like what this means, and this card is associated with Taurus and this card is associated with the moon, and like making sure that they have all that knowledge in their heads before they will actually let themselves go, like open themselves up to like actually channeling. If you read the cards, and I've talked about this so many times, so I apologize if you've heard me talk about this before, but like if you read the cards just by like looking at the traditional or the conventional messages associated with each card, and I'm talking about tarot specifically, it's like you probably get like, I don't know, like a 75% reading, 60% accuracy. Like it's probably going to be like, like mostly correct. And like a lot of times, like when you look at the picture or the card, like there's like sometimes the meaning will be obvious to you. But once you start to just like let go and just like trust yourself, trust what you're feeling, trust what's like popping into your head, what you're experiencing, that's when you become like a real reader, And like, okay, even if you're not reading tarot group 3 in spiritual development, I think that the same logic applies to whatever practice, whatever modality, whatever thing that it is that you're doing, There are rules, but also if the rules don't resonate with you, if it just like doesn't feel right, or if it's like following this rule is really cramping my style, it's like, cramping my energy, I don't feel like it's for me, then don't follow it. Yeah, as long as you're not hurting anybody. So yeah, just like keep that in mind this month as you're doing what you need to be doing. Yeah. Whatever feels right to you is usually the right thing over whatever you think it's supposed to be or whatever somebody else told you it's supposed to be. Okay? All right. That is it for our very Mercury retrograde, very eclipse season, June 2021 Oracle messages. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. I love you all. Yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come for this month. Also, thank you for helping me sell out my course. Practical Woo is sold out. We're starting our first class on June 6th. Yeah, so now that I guess like launching the course is done, I'm going to have a lot more time to create content for you all. I really want to get back into like making my memes, and actually, doing more story times on Patreon, and creating spiritual development exercises, and actually like trying to like engage with you all more. Yeah. So later this month, I am going to be hosting another Bruja Chat. If you'd like to join, we talk about spiritual development. We can talk about the exercises that we do. We can talk about weird shit that happened to you, or we can just talk about whatever. We can talk about BTS if you want. And maybe that's just me, but okay, maybe we don't have to talk about that. Yeah, literally whatever you want. I'll post that later on. This past month, I opened it up to Oracle 1 and Oracle 2 patrons, and I may do that again this month. I just feel like, I don't know, people are needing a little bit of extra support through the eclipse season. So yeah, I want to extend the community to everybody, to all of you for supporting me. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have a good month. Have a good rest of the day. And yeah, I will see you all online. Bye.